Yeah. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh. Bahasham. Yahweh Shai. Bahasham. Rakak Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. The elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut. To the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect. The elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners, who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, you Aquathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson.
What is Black's Law Dictionary? Black's Law is the law of commerce. Black means a dead entity. These are things that don't physically exist. They exist because of agreements that are in your mind. These are trusts that are created. These are the laws and guidelines that those trusts must operate under. These are not rules for you. These are rules for commerce. This is rules for business. Everything in here is commercial. Okay? These are commercial terms to be utilized by the living man, so that you can speak in the language of the dead. Okay? This is a necromancer's book. First, there exists no nation of Black Americans, nor is there a Black American in any documented record the world over. Black Americans are what is referred to in law as a misnomer, or collectively misnomers. As you well know grammatically, black is an adjective and is not a proper noun. Socially and politically, black implies civilir mortis, which means dead in the eyes of law. Black American is not a nationality, nor is it a nation. Therefore, black has no political interest nor powers in the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. Alright, so, for all intents and purposes, black, meaning dead. You just type that in real quick, right? And mourning, black death, civiliter mortis. In a legal context, black can imply civiliter mortis, which means dead in the eyes of the law. What is Black's Law? What is Black's Law Dictionary? Black's Law is the law of commerce. Black means a dead entity. These are things that don't physically exist. They exist because of agreements that are in your mind. These are trusts that are created. These are the laws and guidelines that those trusts must operate under. These are not rules for you. These are rules for commerce. This is rules for business. Everything in here is commercial. Okay? These are commercial terms to be utilized by the living man, so that you can speak in the language of the dead. Okay? This is a necromancer's book. First, there exists no nation of Black Americans, nor is there a Black American in any documented record the world over. Black Americans are what is referred to in law as a misnomer, or collectively misnomers. As you well know grammatically, black is an adjective and is not a proper noun. Socially and politically, black implies civilir mortis, which means dead in the eyes of law. Black American is not a nationality, nor is it a nation. Therefore, black has no political interest nor powers in the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. Alright, so, for all intents and purposes, black, meaning dead. You just type that in real quick, right? And mourning, black death, civiliter mortis. In a legal context, black can imply civiliter mortis, which means dead in the eyes of the law. What is Black's Law?
Yeah, Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Ba'asham Rakakadash. We want to give all praises and honor and all glory unto Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. The elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut. To the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, in the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect. The elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners, whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father, and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akhwathim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson.
It's 12.
Yeah, fair use, fair use. Yeah, right, because the you know how he's going into the book. It's like a necromancer book, right? But it's for business and commerce, right? Which you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, or you are going to be product. You already are. You're product of the United States, right? Right there, you are all debt slaves in this place, right? In order to try to so-called pay back the debt that it's pretty much impossible to pay back, right? But their thing is to give you the charagma, right, and push forth the Novus Ordo Seclorum, right, to put a micro C-hip in your right hand or your forehead, your left hand, your right hand, or your forehead, to cause us both all small and great, rich and poor, to free and bond, to receive that what mark, that charagma, right? But see, under them, you have always been just a commodity, right? So that's why a lot of your voting doesn't get you anywhere. But here we go. Because when you deal with America, America is a corporation. America is a company. So the reason why, because one of the first things that ever got traded on the stock market were you so-called so-called black men, which is actually Judah, and you so-called Native Americans, which is Gad, right? Which represents the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, right? You were sold, the first thing sold on the stock market here in America, or Wall Street, right, was you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians put on cargo slave ships, right? But this place is what? A corporation. It's a business. And you all are items for sale, right? Your birth certificate, your social security card, all the way down unto you, which they're going to cause of all small and great, free and poor, to receive a charagma, a micro C-hip, right? For companies that have been. So fair use, it's for fair use. For several years, so deeply in debt that they don't make enough profit, ready, to service their debt. That is, to pay the interest and the portion they have to repay. And we have a special name in economics for them. I kid you not, I didn't make this up. Zombie corporations, because they're dead. They're economically defunct. You know how they manage to survive when their profits aren't enough to cover their debts? They take on more debt to pay the debt they couldn't otherwise cover. That makes them more zombie-ish next year than they were this year, which is what's happening. You might wonder, who lends money to all these indebted people, businesses, and government? Well, let me start with the government, because if you thought the world was crazy before, wait till you get this. The two biggest creditors of the United States government are Japan and China. Japan number one, China number two. A few years ago, it was the other way. China was number one, Japan was number two. The United States is the biggest debtor country in the world by countries. Yeah, so this is Acts chapter 13 and 1. Barnabas and Saul are commissioned, right? And this is dealing with them being among the prophets and teachers of the church of Antioch in Syria, right, which is in another country, showing that the Israelites are scattered around, were scattered then, and even, scattered around the four winds of the earth now are Barnabas and Simeon, called the black man, right? Right, because they're giving you the definition of what that word means, right? Lucius of Cyrene, Manaen, the childhood companion of the king Herod, the the Antipas, 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 and Saul, right? So this, at one point in time, what being called a nigger was not a bad thing, right? Because when you go into this really what the word was called, it was called nigger. But what they did is turn black into something negative, and it means you don't exist according to their law, to their books of law. In this, it's like the brother was going into. It's a corporation, and in this corporation, it's failing. It's a failing corporation. So you already are known basically through that as a commodity, something that does not have any power, right? Within this corporation called America, this dead incorporation, right? Right. So we go to the original, right, to the King James, KJV, so you get the understanding. It says, now there were in the church of Antioch certain prophets, teachers, and Barnabas and Simeon that was called nigger, right? Because really that goes into, it's not Niger, it's nigger. Lucius of Cyrene, Menenius, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch, and Saul, which is basically Paul, Apostle Paul, right? So this was a common thing, and nigger just meant black man. So these men are what? Israelites, right? So they turned around through this place and made this be a negative term, right? Just like they turned the word Christian. Hold on, let's get that. Yeah. So here we are in Acts 11, right? Um, Basically dealing with the same place, right? Right, same place, same time period, right? And it says, this is Acts 11:25. Then departed Barnabas of Tarshish for to seek Saul, right? Which which was uh, which is Paul, the Apostle Paul, right? And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch, right? What we just read earlier, right? Because they're in Antioch. And it came to pass that the that at that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church, right? Because they went to go teach the prophets, the teachers, right? Which are called the black man, right? Or nigger, right? Assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called what? Christians. First in Antioch. Now this Christian was actually a derogatory term, right? Which today it's supposed to be this things that you just throw around to say that you're this so-called believer in God. So it just makes you a good person, you know. Once saved, always saved. You're just wholly filled with the Holy Ghost, right? Which the Lord don't deal with ghosts, man. He's the God of the living, not the dead. He's the God of the Holy Spirit, man. The Spirit is alive. The Spirit quickeneth and maketh alive, man. Not no ghost, right? So, um, but see how they could twist things. See, this in this time period, Christian was actually a negatory term, and now it's seen as something positive. It's sat on high. Why? So they can just say everybody can be saved. We're all just Christians, right? Yeah. So this is a Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5, and Solomon says, "I am black," right? Going into what they nigger, right? Black just means the black man. So he's saying, I'm a black man, right? But calmly, right? Beautiful, right? Beautiful. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, which is speaking about the entire nation, right? When you see it that way, it's not just talking about the actual daughters, it's talking about the nation, right? Of Israel, right? Because a lot of times people liken their nation as to a woman, Mother Russia, motherland, things like that. So it's kind of like that type of uh, thing, kind of deal in a way of saying the entire nation, right? Because the nation uh, uh, has been nourished, you know, so to speak, by the land, which is Israel, right? And the land the Lord refers to as our mother, right? So kind of that under, to give you kind of an understanding there, as the tents of Kedar, right? And Kedar is the name of one of Abraham's sons, which did not inherit the blessing, right? Was not a part of this thing of ours at all. But Kedar goes into being dark skinned, right? A dark skin, right? Because even what you used to make tents out of, you made tents out of the skin of animals. Yeah. Song of Song of Solomon right here. This is the Blue Letter Bible, right? So I got the King James and the Amplified version next to each other, and it says, I am black but calmly, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, right? It's going into what Kedar means. Kedar meaning dark skin, as the tents of Solomon. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do that. Show you that's what that Kedar means. Kedar.
Strong's H 6938. Kedar. Kedar.
Kedar. Kedar, dark. A son of Ishmael, right? It was one of his sons. That's his name, Kedar. He was real dark skinned. So that's what they named Kedar, dark. Let's see if they. Yeah, yeah. A dusky of the skin, right? Which means dark, right? A real dark skinned person, right? So the Solomon is saying he is as dark as Ishmael's son, right? Which is a dusky uh skin, right? And then also what the tints are also made out of skin. So the skin or the tint, right? Which tints are made out of skin, but he said I have dark skin too, right? A dusky skin, right? So he said it about himself, right? Let's see if I can.
Strong's H 6937. Kader. Kader.
Yeah, this is just saying morning, darkness, blackness. Talking about morning, but he's not talking about morning. He's talking about what he is. Morning is not beautiful, right? That's why it's sad. That's why you're mourning. So that's not what that's talking about. He's talking about his skin, right? The descendants of Kedar, right? Which basically means dark skin. Right. So this is the Amplified version, right? The Shulamite bride, which the bride is dealing with the entire nation, starting with the elect, right? It's going to be 12,000 out of each tribe, which is going to be the bride of Yahushai, right? Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, which his real name is Yahushai, right? And that's going to be the 144,000 is the representation of the entire nation, right? 12,000 out of each tribe, which are going to bring back all of Israel through childbirth, right? So he says, I am deeply, I am deeply tanned, right? Because this their way of trying to manipulate the thing, but you can't even manipulate, even when you do this, right? Esau, he tries, but it just don't, look, watch this. Even though they do this right here, they're not understanding. See, I am deeply tanned, right? Deeply tanned, but lovely, right? O ye daughters, right? Dealing with the nation, the whole entire nation of Israel, of Jerusalem, talking about the nation, right? See, I am dark like the tents of the Bedorim of Kedar, like the beautiful curtains of Solomon, right? So this is talking about the skin, right? Yeah. So yeah, this is basically the tents of Solomon or Kedar, right? So look at that tent. I am black as the tents of Kedar, right? Right. I think there's one that says, "Oh, this one's goat," because this makes sense because they were goat herders. We had goats. See, goat hair tint, right? Let's see see if we can zoom in on this goat hair tint. You have never seen a white person that color ever, right? Never in your life, right? So even with all that they're trying to, you know, do, when you really go into it, yeah. So just continue right here of Kedar, like a beautiful curtains of Solomon, right? So let's keep going because you can't see how they try to do a play on words, but then even your play on words, no matter how, because you're talking about a tan goes a deeply tanned, right? Deeply tanned ensues that you were in the sun for a long period of time to get this deeply tan, right? So let's see how much in the sun you were to get this deeply tan, right? So let's start with the KJV. It says, look not upon me because I am black, because the sun, right? See, when you're in the sun has looked upon me, my mother's children, right? Dealing with Ishmael, right? Because he's related to us, going back to our father. He has the same grandfather, or the father as Isaac, right? Which we come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So he has the same father as Isaac, which will be my father's children, right? Going into Esau is our brother from Isaac, right? Which put us into slavery, right? Ishmael and Esau put us in slavery. So what it says, my mother's children, right, were angry with me, right? So the type of slavery that Ishmael and Esau put us in, they would have to have been angry with us, right? We're related. We're brothers, right? Isaac is Ishmael's brother. Esau is Jacob's brother. Whatever are you mad for? Why are you mad? Why would you put us in slavery? Chattel slavery at that. You must be angry, right? My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyard, right? Going into slavery, going into enslaving us, making them wealthy, putting us at the bottom, right? And no matter what we do, they'll have to have some type of name to try to downgrade us, right? Because when you go back into the time when they were slaving us, they say Hebrews for sale. Then they had to dumb it down because it was like, oh no, they're gonna know that these are the Israelites. So we had to say Hebrews for sale, and then we had to change it from Hebrew to Negroes for sale, right? To dumb it all the way down, and now you're just a Negro, supposedly, right? Which is dumbed all the way down to meaning you don't amount to anything, right? That's their whole thing, right? And then lift themselves up and flip something that was negative, like Christian, because we were following the Messiah, right? Which goes into anointed, which Hamashiachim is what should be said, right? And they flip it and then elevate it. Now, all these so-called Christians, the body of believers, can be saved. No, that's not how it works, right? You got to go into what this thing is actually talking about. The Israelites. This is a prophecy written by Solomon saying that the Israelites will go into slavery, right? They're angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyard, right, in slavery. But my own vineyard have I not kept, right? We got kicked out of the land, out of the land of Israel, right? So into these slaveries that we have had, right? See, and that's what you want to say. What? So it says, do not glaze at me because I am what? Deeply tanned, right? So what kind of tan are you talking about? Being in the sun, to be deeply, and we looked up what the curtains or the tints of Solomon or the tints of Kedar basically look like, and they're super dark or super brown, and you have never gotten a white person like that, and if you do, it's one white person, and then he might his lineage may go back to somebody else, whether if it's Ham or Israel or one of these other nations that got a melanin in their skin. But you're not going to get a straight up white person out in the sun to get deeply tanned to the point that he looks like the curtains of the tints of Kedar or Solomon, which means dark skin. You're just not going to do. It's not going to happen. Deeply, I have worked, right? See, slavery in the sun, right? It has left me marked. It's marked on me, right? Which goes into you say you're deeply tanned, and see this is Esau trying to maneuver. But even when you're doing this, mark what mark? You just said you were deeply tanned from the sun, right? So what mark did it leave you? You got darkly what? Tanned? As the tints of Kedar? Wait, let's keep reading because you're gonna have to put your foot in your mouth, right? It says, my mother's sons were angry with me. They made me keeper of the vineyard, but my own vineyard, my complexion, I have not kept.
Complexion.
Right. That is crazy. Which goes into he's talking about my own complexion. No, that's going into, but yeah, because that's Esau. He's not really. He's trying to break. He's trying to break it down, and then you don't really know what he's doing, right? Complexion, right? Which your complexion is your skin. So he's saying he's got dark skin, but this really actually goes into what slavery, right? Because if your own vineyard have you not kept, what vineyard are you keeping? That a vineyard is goes into a lot of hard work, a labor, right? Yeah. So this is AI overview. It says labor on a vineyard refers to the physical work involved in maintaining and harvesting grapes from a vineyard, including tasks like pruning vines, yet shoot, positioning leaves, removal, fruit thinning, and most significantly, hand picking grapes during harvest, often re- requiring a large seasonal workforce, right? Due to the the concentrated concentrated nature of the work during the harvest season, right? It says while some skipping down while some vineyards work is due year round. See, some of it's year round, right? Some vineyard work is done year round. The most labor intensive point is during the harvest when the grapes need to be picked, right? So, but they wasn't just having us pick grapes. It was cotton. It was sugar cane, tobacco, right? All these different things. I think they even some places they were even doing the rubber trees and all these different things that they were having us do, right? Sugar canes and all sorts of stuff, man. Hard, intensive labor on someone else's vineyard, but not our own, which is the land of Israel, right? Jerusalem, right? Right? Which we're a people before a place. So you have to build up the people first in order to have that government that will be able to protect, you know, and guide its people. But if we're in a position, yeah. So this is Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4. It says, "And thus even thyself," which is talking to Jeremiah, and Jeremiah knew that he was an Israelite, right? Right. He was raised up as a young man, right? Righteous. Uh, one of the very few righteous Israelites, right? Right. But the Lord said that because we had to suffer as a nation. So the Lord saying, even thus thyself, right? Because there's such thing as reincarnation, regeneration. It would have to be right. As thyself says, thus even thyself shalt discontinue, right? Which means to be separated, right? Distance, right? Dis, right? Which means to be from, yeah, separated from, right? Continue, right? Going into continuing what he knew, right? He knew that he was an Israelite. He knew all these different things about his culture. But the Lord said, even thyself shall discontinue from what? Thy heritage, right? His culture, his understanding. Right? When was that going to happen if he already knew that he was an Israelite? When was he going to discontinue? Was he going to fall down trip over some stairs or something, bump his head and have amnesia or something? When was that going to actually happen? Right? Because that's happening in the regeneration, right? Through the reincarnation of those souls, those spirits, right? The Israelites, right? Which everybody goes through reincarnation, but I'm just focusing on the Israelites, right? Of thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve me what? Slavery, right? My mother's children were angry with me, and I served their vineyards and didn't keep my own, right? Didn't take care of my own people, right? Forming my own army, military laws, which our laws come from the scriptures, from the Bible, right? We don't have any of those things, right? Because we got what? Discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. And what's the heritage that the Lord gave us? Yahshua, right? He, Prince of God, right? Of the power, right? So it says that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in a land, right? Which is not your vineyard, in a land which thus know it's not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, right? So now the Lord's angry, but the Lord's anger is going to be put out through who? Your mother's children. So the Lord's showing forth his anger through the other children, right? Which shall burn forever, right? Which going into, these are supposed to be the signs. This is how you know that we're the Israelites. Yeah, because we're going to be in a constant state of mourning. So Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish, right? So our rulership, right? Talking about your government, things like that, your leadership, things that's supposed to be built up, right? In order to have a governmental body that could protect your people and have a thing and be back at that, and back in our land, our homeland. We don't have that. Why? Because the Lord discontinued us from for worshiping other gods, doing things that we wasn't supposed to be doing, right? Basically connecting with all the other heathens, right? Basically totally forgetting that we're supposed to worship the Most High and only the Most High, So it says, they are black, right? Unto the ground, right? So when you deal with the ground, the color of the ground is brown, right? There's rare cases where you got if you can go to certain places, I believe it's Hawaii, and I think there's other places in the world too. Can't think of offhand where the sand is actually white, but then you got some place where the sand is black. So it's talking about we come from the dust of the ground, right? Going back to Adam, right? Adam meaning how do you say it in the Hebrew? Adama, right? Adama, ground, meaning ground. Adama meaning ground, right? So come from the dust of the ground, and the ground is brown, and yet we got Israelites that are shades of white, right? But they're Israelites. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's what you're forgetting, right? The Lord said we'll be like as the sands of the sands of the sea, right? And you may go to a sea and there's white sand. You can go to a sea and there's black sand, right? But predominantly the ground, Adama, ground, is what? Brown. It says they are black unto the ground, right? And the cries of Jerusalem go up, right? And this is our constant mourning, because we were in slavery, discontinued from our heritage, right? In slavery under our oppressors, worshiping Allah, and now under Esau, JC, or whatever madness you want to believe in. Now you're as Gnostic, and now you're bugged out with all your gang violence and worshiping money and women and all this other madness that never should be, right? Yeah. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 46, and they. Should I go up? Yeah, I'm going to go 45. It says, moreover, all these curses, right, shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thus be what? Destroyed, right? Discontinued from your heritage, right? Because thus hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh, Basham Yahweh Shai, thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign, right? Showing you that these are meant to be signs. You being in the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations, these are technically signs of who you are, right? Is it a guaranteed? Nah, because Esau got some of his own Edomite counterparts that live in the ghetto. It's not necessarily meaning, but then you got chocolate covered Edomites. So it no, doesn't mean overall, no, but you have to no, the spirit guides you, you know what I mean? The spirit knows, right? The spirit will is the discerner, right? It says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. Yeah, and that's what people are doing now, man. They're like, dang, these dudes do kind of got a point. I'm wondering if what they saying is real, because it does sound good. I mean, I don't want it to be that, because that means we in trouble. But damn, I wonder if they are, right? For a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed, right? So you're not gonna be able to escape it, right? And upon thy seed, right? Which you got a thing called reincarnation too, right? And thy seed forever. Yeah. So this is Exodus chapter 20, verse 5. Thus shall not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, right? Talking about other gods, which that's what we did. That's why the Lord sent our enemies against us, that discontinued us from our heritage, right? Right, this being the worst one under Esau, right? Because a lot of our captivity, we knew who we were. Cried to the Lord sent forth a savior, right? Delivered us, went back to serving the Lord for, maybe the next 20 years or 30 years or 40 years. But then, of course, through reincarnation, regenerate, those same wicked spirits come back. They end up being back in power, and they basically sends us off into some more madness all over again. And so, but this is going to be the last time that this is going to happen to us. So it says, and we're not supposed to serve them, these other gods. For Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakadash, thy power, I am a jealous power, man. So the Lord, I got all the power in the world, and I'm jealous. The Lord will cause things to happen to you. And that's basically what he's saying, right? It says, and visiting, right? Sing to the Lord. And it says, I am a jealous power, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation, right? Reincarnation, right? Because you come back in the third or fourth generation. So you can't get away from it. So you and your children, right? To the third and the fourth generation of them that hate me. So if you and the Lord considers that as you hate him, you're like, Lord, I don't hate you. I'm just worshiping this other thing. It's no big deal. It's just it's not even like that, You're trying to talk to the Lord like you got caught by your lady or something, and you're trying to explain, but I don't love her, right? I don't like her like I like you, baby. That was just me trying to give him, and you're trying to, hey, but the Lord feel like, hey, you hate him. Okay, I got something for you. And what happens when you get them jealous women, man? They tell you about that, right? You have found nothing more bitter than death, but what? A woman, man. Ain't nothing more bitter than death, but a woman, man, right? And she's crazy, right? Especially under this Edomite supremacy, where she's allowed to do damn near anything, right? Yeah. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 9. So thus shall not bow down thyself unto them, right? The other gods, to serve them, for I am Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakadash, thy power. I am a jealous power, visiting the iniquities of the fathers unto the children, unto the third and the fourth generation of them that hate me, man. So that's, oh man, the Lord, and the Lord don't have to mention things twice. He said his word goes out and never come back void. So when the Lord speak, man, he meant it. Like, that's it. But he's reiterated, showing you the importance of it, right? As that's heavy for a power that says he's not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. But then he's repeating himself and saying the exact same thing, or say it pretty much the same way, but kind of different, but it's still the exact same thing. Shows the heaviness, the significance to what he's doing, right? Yeah, so this is Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, right? See, the Lord say we're gonna just completely destroy us, but because ye moved the you moved the Most High to wrath, right? The Lord was angry, right? He said that he's gonna be angry, right? To those who hate him, right? To wrath. Ye were delivered unto your enemies, right? The Lord made it to where we were delivered to our enemies. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High, right? And it says, this is a Baruch, right? 4, which is in the Apocrypha, which is canon, by the way, right? Because it's going to line up with the rest of the Bible, right here, right? Your Book of Mormon, your Book of the Dead, your false religious of Calvinists, Baptists, Methodists, Episcopalian, Apostolic, whatever madness that you're in, Jehovah wickedness, do not line up with the scriptures, with the true comprehension and understanding of the scriptures, right? So Baruch 4 and 6, ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye move the power, the Most High, Yahweh, right? Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, to wrath, ye were delivered unto your enemies, right? Dealing with Ishmael and Esau, right? Which is Esau is the end of this world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? But Ishmael and Esau being what? Your mother's children, right? Right? We were in slavery under all these other people, but the ones that hit us the hardest was our mother's children, which was Ishmael, right? Why people are worshiping Allah, and then of course Esau, why people are worshiping lily white, or supposedly self-proclaimed white Jesus, right? JC, right? And it says, you delivered unto your enemies, for ye provoked me, you provoked him, right? The Most High Power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash, that made you by sacrificing, right? Worship another God, sacrificing unto devils and unto and not to the power, to the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? And that's what's going on even to this very day. You sacrifice unto devils, man, right? It says, ye have forgotten, right? Going into this being discontinued from your heritage, right? You have forgotten the everlasting power, the Most High Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. So, what does that mean? Being discontinued, right? And they'll tell you that the Apocrypha is not canon and it doesn't match up with anything, but it said you will be discontinued, and then the Lord said you have forgotten the everlasting power. You've forgotten. So what means what? Discontinued, right? So ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nourished you, which is basically your mother, right? The land, right? You have grieved her, right? And one of the things that's like grieving her is like she didn't want to, because like a land is virtue like a woman, and then you know how the so-called the woman, her hair is her glory. Well, what happens when we left the land? It took the land's glory, which would be like kind of like symbolizing the hair, the vegetations, the different trees and things that was there. Something that the devils that's there now, they're having those plants and stuff shipped there. They're transplanting plants. They're not just growing up naturally, right? And they just bringing a bunch of different plants and different things and saying, "Hey, look, we fulfilled the prophecy. See, look, see, everything is good over here. Just don't look down over there, But we know it's a false thing, right? Because that land, matter of fact, because it says, skip down to 11. It says Baruch 4:11. With joy did I nourish them, right? Which is talking about the land, our mother, the land. but sent them away with weeping, right? Went into slavery. The Lord had to abolish us out of the land, right? Sent us away weeping, with weeping and mourning, right? Right? Against thereof that languish, they are black into the wait, man. We were languishing. The leadership was gone, right? Right? Understanding that we are those so-called black people, right? That went away mourning, right? That's why it did it that way. The tense Kadar meaning dark skin, as the, you know, as the tents of Solomon, which is dark, right? Goes into what you being in the sun, right? Right? Serving other people's vineyards, right? And not your own. Slavery, man, right? Shit the way mourning, let, right, which is that's let no man rejoice over me, a widow, right? Which we know that a man did rejoice over her, right? Which is Esau. Let no man rejoice over me, O widow, a widow, and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children, right? So it's the land is saying, I've been forsaken. So as soon as we had to get banished out of that land, the land was forsaken and left what? Desolate. See, and that's when the Lord took away the way the vegetations grew up and all that stuff. And it's basically like a woman, you know. That's why the Lord said, I marred her crown, right? Made her bald. So it's the same thing that the Lord did to the land, right? And made and left desolate because they departed from the law of the power, man. So the Lord put us out of the land, and it took that vegetation and everything that's supposed to be there away. Yeah. So this is Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 2. So thus saith the Adon power, the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash, because the enemy have said against you, aha, right? Talking about that land. No, it says the land is a widow, and no man is to rejoice over, but a man has rejoiced over her. It says the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places, right, which is talking about the land of Israel, are ours in possession, right? So they took it. The heathen did. Start Esau, Edom. Therefore prophesy and say, thus saith the Adon, Most High Power Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because they have made you what? Desolate, right? That land is laid desolate, and us, right? Swallowed you up on every side, that ye may be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, right? And we're talking the top 1% of the world, right? Who actually runs the world after we, through slavery, we built up this country, right? We, through the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, even to this very day, we're the ones who keep this place afloat, right? We're the ones, like they'll tell you, go through history. When you didn't pay slaves, that's you could build up quite a bit of wealth. But even when you go into the time of what the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, you can go into these the times of drugs, big time drug dealers, and they'll tell you that these drug dealers are who helped build the skyline of a lot of these major cities, built these buildings up, right? It's where they got the money from the drug money, which killed numerous of so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians on the streets, overdosing off drugs, this and that, murders and drug wars. And then, you have this, one particular Jake who's this big type drug dealer who at the end, he don't have anything to show for it but to brag about how they helped build Miami skyline or something like that, or the New York skyline, because of how much money was flowing in, right? And the politicians and the governments and the mayors and all they had to know about it, and they knew about it, but they're not talking about that, right? So from slavery to this very day, you got Jakes in construction and all these other things, all the way into the military, right? That builds up this place. We built this place, man. We what keeps this place still afloat, right? So we could be with possession of that 1%, right? Going into like I said, the charagma, going into this place that's falling because of the debt, right? So they got to figure out a way to prop this thing back up, right? And that's through the charagma, right? Because it's a zombie corporation, and America in itself is a corporation, right? It's not a country. This is a business, a corporation, and what they've been doing is what selling and trading you as commodity, right? Right, and that you will be the possession, right, unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are in infamy of the people, right? Which, because we're out there on the highways and the byways. So now they're saying, hey, these Hebrew Israelites, we got to discredit them. We got to do something about this, right? Because we had that, infamy basically means, like we're famous, but we're famous for being so-called dangerous to the New Ordo Seclorum. We're dangerous to their what they're trying to push, right? Because there's 7,000 that will not bow the knee to Baal. We're not going to bow down our knee to the system, right? So it's a dangerous thing because they're trying to hold on to their system, right? Yeah. So this is Zechariah chapter 9 verse 6. A bastard, right? Because he don't have a father, right? A bastard is someone who don't have a father. Shall dwell in Ashdod, right? And we have a heavenly father, right? And they're going to dwell in Ashdod, which is a chief port city in Israel, right? Because they're rejoicing that they got the land, right? They say, aha, we got it, right? Right, which is Ashdod. Shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. And the Philistines go back to the Egyptians, right? So the Lord said He's going to cut off this, this Egyptian power, right? Which Mizraim is like a rock and a hard place, right? Egypt being a house of bondage, right? So He's gonna cut us off of it. But at the time being, right, we're in a place where they're trying to increase, they're trying to further it. So this is Zechariah chapter 1 verse 14. So the angel communed with me, said unto me, cry thus, saying, thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash of hosts, which means armies, I am jealous for Jerusalem, right? Where people before place, but it's also the land, right? It says, and for Zion, right, which means memorial, right? With a great jealousy, right? Dealing with the elect, starting with the elect. It says, I am very sore displeased with the heathen. So the Lord said that we were going to be in possession of the residue of the heathen, but the Lord said He's going to be displeased with these heathens that are at ease, right? And how they're at ease, man, because they put you into hardcore bondage, slavery, put you in the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations afterwards, and they're still on top, man. Sometimes I go do deliveries and things to these houses, and these freaking Edomites got it. Man, they got houses, bro. Nice house. They still live in. I mean, this is a fallen economy, and this zombie corporation, they're living good. This is why they're in this. Like the guy was saying something about how they're just like pretending like this thing is not going on. It's because they're living too good, right? So it says, yeah, I'm sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, right? Taking your tax money, doing all sorts of stuff, man. They're living it up, bro. They're living it up. Taking your money, your things, and go oppress your brothers. Go oppress Levi over there, the Haitians, right? You know what I mean? Going over to the Congo, because I'm pretty sure there's Israelites over there in the Democratic Republic of Congo, right? They got to be Israelites there, so they're oppressing them there. Nigeria, because they're finding all these great deposits of gold and uranium. I forgot how it's called, uranium, but but yeah, these great deposits of precious minerals, precious uh, precious stones and minerals and things that bro, they're using this to create better ships and things like that, man, because it can withstand uh, greater temperature degrees and heat up and cool down, right? So they gotta this is the way these heathens are operating, and they're gonna push further that are at ease, and and I was but for a little displeased, and they helped to forward the affliction, right? Put you in the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations, brought in the drug culture, right? And then also what? The debt, right? He said they're in heavy debt. So which is gonna bring to further that thing is to bring in the charagma. Yeah. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6, right? Because ultimately, after they built this whole country off your back and they lived at ease. So they ain't thinking about how um the debt's gonna have to be paid back. Why? Because they're gonna have the debt paid back by you and your children. And not just only you and your children, right? Which they know that you're the Israelite, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. They even want to do it to their own people because they're not worried about it because they don't intend to ever having to pay back that debt. They're talking about putting it upon you, right? As the citizens, which citizen means slave, right? So yeah, they gave you a emancipation proclamation, which means to refer you from the ownership of private owners unto this corporation, right? And it says Habakkuk 2:6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, right? And that's what everybody's going to be upset, and you're going to have a lot of rioting and things in the streets, uproars of the people, right? Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say woe, right? Which means judgment. Judgment has to happen to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long, right? Which not much longer, right? We're at the end of this thing, right? To him that layeth himself with thick clay, right? And then going to that definition of clay, a batyat, right? Clay going into what? A weight of a pledge, right? Which goes into being like a pawn shop. Like you have something that's a value, you give it so you can get some money, then you do whatever you do with your money, pay another bill or whatever you're gonna do. But then in the process, you're supposed to come back and buy back, your possession that you had pawned in. And normally, especially when you go into Deuteronomy, you go into the Bible, it was normally a family heirloom, which that's why when in the year of release, right, 7 years or in a Jubilee year, that those people were supposed to give it back to you. See, but this place is completely unrighteous. See, so but yeah, see, thick clay, yeah, pledge. Where's it go? Yes, well, you see it right here. It says heavy debt, right? Let's see if I can open it up. Loaded of debt, which one has contracted, right? And that's this zombie corporation called America, right? Which the brother was speaking about, the book being like a necromancer, which goes into business and commerce, which the business and commerce were you as slaves. So now this zombie corporation called America is basically going out of business, right? but they're trying to stay in business, right? And the bot means debt, right? And it says Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 6. I'm doing the amplified version. It says, and will all these victims, right? See, and ultimately, yeah, that's what it is, man. You're just a victim of Esau's BS, of these victims of his greed, right? And that's ultimately what he is, man. You got 300 trillion dollars, which you have more than hearts can wish. I mean, you could easily forgive America of their debt, right? You're supposed to be doing this reset, right? And that's ultimately what reset means, to actually forgive the debt. But that's not what you're going to do. You're going to further the affliction, to put the debt, to further the debt into the people, right? Of his greed, not to take not take up a taunting proverb. Won't they do that? Yeah, won't not take up a taunting song against him, and in mocking, right? Because they're gonna start mocking this devil, right? Everybody, they're on this Trump bandwagon for now, but pretty soon they're gonna start making a lot of things of mocking him and hating him, mocking the derision against him, saying, "Woe," which means judgment, right? Well, it is judgment is coming to him who increaseth that which is not his. How long will he possess it? Right? Said he possessed the land, the people, right? Which actually goes back to Yasha'Allah, goes back to Israel, right? Which the Lord memorial, which the Lord said he's jealous over, right? And woe, right? Judgment to him that maketh himself wealthy with loans. So ultimately, all this thing is just loans and credits and loans, and then and so what they do is they go, and they're already in debt, and they go borrow more money because they don't plan on paying it back. They plan on putting it to you, right? Yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast came up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, right? And spake as a dragon, right? Dealing with the first, when they were Rome, the plebeian and patricians, but now they're the Democrat and Republicans, and they're speaking as a lamb, right? Because Donald Trump saying that he's a Christian, right? This place saying that this is a Bible believing country, when they've been anything but that, right? They say they believe in the morals and the things of God, but then they're gonna speak as a dragon, which is gonna go into the draconian laws and measures. That's going to you're gonna see that you don't have any rights, right? You're gonna show that all these people are slaves, but especially for you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, especially when they already have you down. Even now, even before this time, you're basically known as just commodity, as you could see that what the brother did. A very good lesson that he did, showing you that you're just commodity. You're just a slave. So furthermore, he's going to do these things and take away, going to the draconian laws and measures. It says, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth, right? And what was Rome doing? Rome was going around just conquering things, right? So to operate in the power of the first beast, what are you doing? You can go through and force things and conquer things, right? And Rome was into draconian laws and measures, right? Because when they did, even what they did to Yahweh Shai, those were supposed to be the way they did capital punishment, and they were hardcore about punishment. Like you can go into the Roman history of how they were so good at torture, right? They would take a man and cut his stomach open and grab his large intestines and put it on a spool and roll it slowly and pulling his intestines out slowly while he's alive, and it's just slowly like just breaking, basically, till his guts are all on the floor till he dies, an excruciating pain, and hey, they got to be bugged out looking to see your own guts all over the floor. Psychological, I mean, hey, it's crazy, but they were experts at that, right? So that's why you can operate in the power of the first beast before him, and calleth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, right? Hey, you're gonna worship what we do, right? You're gonna be in these different famines and all these different things that's gonna be going on, and you're gonna say that what we have for you is good for you, right? Whose deadly wound was healed, right? Going into the Roman Empire, right? The Greco-Roman Empire, right? Which is Babylon the Great. So I'm just going to skip down to here, to 14, and it says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, going into what the micro C hip, right? They're going to show you how it can cure memory loss, vision, ear, hearing, loss of hearing, right? AI can be a prophet to you, can tell you your future and what things can do and what could happen if you do this and if you do that. It could be your lawyer. It could be AI is gonna be your everything, right? Your doctor, right? AI is gonna be all these different things. It's these great miracles that it has, and they're pushing it off, and you could see that they're preparing. Go to these places. McDonald's. McDonald's was the first one to have it. But now you can go to other places too. You can go to McDonald's, what is the Jack in the Box. You go anyone. They got these little stations in there, and they got it set up like stalls, right? Which made me understand about how the Lord said that my people go as a flock to slaughter. When you look at these things, they're like stalls, and each one is like. And I believe in McDonald's, there's a bunch of them. Depending on which McDonald's you go to, some of them only have 3, but some of them have 6 of them. You have like 3 in the front of the store, 3 in the back of the store, and you order your thing right at the little concierge, whatever it's called, the machine, and put your order in. Stand at the thing and do your self order. You put your order in, and that's it. But it's like a stall, right? Going into like a stall, like the flocks would do, you know. Normally you could do that. Especially you have certain different animals. Sometimes you'll separate them. You'll put them in different stalls. Even like I understand that. When you do horse racing, right? Each one's in a different little stall. And then they open up the gate and then they take off running, right? You should see this thing, and I'm like, wow. I'm looking at it like, whoa. That's where it's like you're being led as a flock to the slaughter. So. But by the means of these miracles, which had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, right? Going into that first beast with the deadly wound that was healed, right? With the Roman Greco Empire, right? Which you're basically already doing that. A lot of you are already doing that, right? But it's going to go a little further, right? Oh, whoops. Which had the wound by the sword and did live, right? There you go. See, then it showed you again. So it's showing you it's that Roman Greco Empire, right? Right, the red dragon, right, which is going to speak as a dragon, right, going into draconian laws and measures, and had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, right, through this AI system, right? You get arrested and you have a probation officer. You're gonna go to your probation officer, and it's gonna be an AI. Is it Elysium? Is that the one with Matt Damon? I think it's Elysium. The one with Matt Damon. He goes, he goes see his probation officer, and his probation officer was an AI. So they're showing you where they're trying to lead you to. You know what I mean? Going into, causing this to both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, because it's gonna be resistance against getting the MOTB, man, right? It's gonna be resistance against that, right? Starting with the elect, but it's gonna be resistance from a lot of people. But there's gonna be certain people that what? And he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, charagma, charax, and grapho in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? That no man might buy or sell, save, right? Because you're trying to save yourself, right? Save he that had the mark, the charagma, charax, and grapho, or grapho, so like in that, in grapho, so like in the charagma, charax, grapho, right? Charagma being the mark, charax meaning the delivery system, right? That's going to take to put in you, right? A piercing, right? Right? Through your skin, through your hand or your forehead, however they pierce you, right? However they put in within you, right? Yeah, a mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? Because it says in the right hand or in the forehead. So whether if it's in your hand, left hand, right hand, right? You get the little surgery so you can put it in your head. So now you could speak, or you can see, or you can hear, right? You could function, whatever, however they get you by the means of those miracles. But really, it's all because what? They're in debt. They're in debt. And they're gonna sell you off as as the commodity by this means. And this is gonna be the way that you could because they still gotta keep you alive. So you gotta be able to still be able to buy food and this and that. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to survive. That no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that haveth understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 636, right? And the score, I believe, score is 20. And then if you do 20 is 60, and then it's and 6. So it's 60. It will be 60, 66, 6. You know what I'm saying? 666, right? Right. So yeah. So with all that, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here, because just ultimately just showing how this theme of you being black um is a thing of slavery, and they want to continue you to be a slave. Yeah, so basically this is Ezekiel chapter 37 and 13. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, when I have opened your graves, right? So you got to come back to the light, man. Repent and come back to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakadash. Oh, my people, right? You so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, which are the Lord's people, and you Israelite foreigners, who phenotype may look like another nation, but your bloodline goes back to Israel, right? Through the spirit, man. When you hear this resonates with your spirit, man, right? You don't have a problem speaking the truth, right? Even if you have to die for the truth, you even have to be tortured by the Romans, because that's basically what they're saying. They're gonna bring back that whole Roman mentality of torturing those who believe, and brought you up out of your graves, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you. See, then you're going to have the spirit of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, within you. And ye shall live, right? See, and that's really what makes you live. You're living, but you're not living. You're dead. You're basically, you're in the congregation of the dead. So you are basically dead, right? Without having the understanding, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, especially when you're calling yourself black, right? But you know no better by calling yourself Mexican, right? You know better by calling yourself Native American, right? You think you are, but trust me, they don't see you that way, right? Everything is for a show. They might treat you a little bit better than they treat the so-called Mexican because you're native, because you got your land and this and that. So they don't want to bring certain things. But look what they done right in front of your eyes. They were grabbing up Native Americans, putting them in goddamn dog kennels, live in person. You're talking recent, right? You'd have thought you'd never see that in this day, 21st century, and they're grabbing up they grabbing them Native American, so-called Native American, which are really Gad, which are Israelites, and tossing them into goddamn dog kennels, right? Showing you, hey, who they are. But see, you guys play a game until hey, see, but the true elect is gonna see, man. They're gonna get the spirit, and I shall put my spirit in you, right? You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians of Indian and Negro descent, you Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, right? But your bloodline goes back to Israel. Your spirit, right, resonates with this book. And ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land, which that's coming up, man, right? We're waiting on that, man, because the Lord got to cleanse that land with fire, right? And then, after this cleanse with fire, we're gonna have them come out, our slaves come out, clean it all up, build up our city, and then we're gonna be able to dwell in our own land. Right? On land, then ye shall know that Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, spoke it, and performed it, right? So he's making it happen, making it go forth, making it happen. Saith Yahweh, says the words of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, came unto me, saying, moreover, right? Moreover, son of man, take this one stick and write upon it for Joseph, right? Which is the southern kingdom, so-called black, so-called West Indies, Jamaican, right, which is Benjamin, right, which is Judah, so-called African American, West Indies, Jamaican is Benjamin, and Haitians are the Levites, right, which is the southern kingdom, and for the children of Israel, right, which is the northern kingdom, from the Puerto Ricans to the Colombians, the Guatemalans, all the way to the Mexicans, right, these native tribes, what you would call indigenous tribes that's of the Americas, right, which is the northern kingdom. His companies then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph and for Ephraim and for all the house of Israel and his company, right? Let me just skip down to here. It says, Ezekiel chapter 37:19, say unto them, thus saith the Lord, out of one power, the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them even with the stick of Judah, right? The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, and make them what? One stick, right? We're going to make them back to being one nation. And that's what we're doing on the highways and the byways again. But waking you up to come out of this and stop calling yourself black, stop calling yourself Mexican and Puerto Rican and all these other madness, these things which takes you out of being in that dead state, right? Because most of the time when I sign things now, and actually if it's black, I put other, and I don't put any of that other. I mean, because I'm not black. Black African Americans, what? That person don't really even exist. They do that as a courtesy to just keep everything afloat. Because if you realize you don't really exist, man, you have to approach this devil a lot different. Which that's what we're doing. Under this devil, we don't exist, but under the Most High, the Lord said He quickened us. He maketh us alive, man. He gave us the Spirit, poured upon His Spirit upon us, and made us alive, right? And that's why He's make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. Right now, we're going to be in the hand of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Hey, and no one can take us out of his hands. Dealing with the elect, right? So with all that, I'm going to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakakodash, right? So come up out of this zombie corporation mentality, right? Because this what this is. I mean, it is a zombie corporation, and out of the dead state of being black, which means you don't exist. You're basically dead. So give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. The elder apostles, bishops from Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwathim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. And the Bible Ball and Kwame Yasharala.